Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nur Shahira binti Muhyiddin, DM 0419-012. Today I would like to present about the background of Japanese occupation in Malaya. Malaya was occupied by Japanese between 8 December 1941 and Allied surrender at Singapore on 16 February 1942. The Japanese remained in occupation until their surrender to Allies in 1945. The Japanese invasion of Malaya just began after midnight on 8 December 1941 before attack on Pearl Harbor. Japan badly needed to capture Malaya because Malaya has a natural rubber and wool steel. According to the World War II website on 1939, Malaya resources 40% of natural rubber and 60% of the world steel. That fact interested Japanese expansionists. The decision to attack was made based on intelligence gathered by Japanese officers. Malayan campaign was a military campaign fought by Allied and local forces in Malaya during 8 December 1941 until 31 January 1942 during Second World War. Malayan campaign consisted a series of battles fought in Malaya between Allied and Axis, which is Allied mainly British Commonwealth and Axis primarily Japanese forces.
My name is Nur Izzati Shazwani Mokhtar from DM-18B. My ID number card is DM041940. And for this video, I'm going to present about the main content of the involvement in Japanese occupation of Malaya. And I have shortened it into 6 points. The point is Malaya became a major financial center, imported food and goods. The Japanese framed trying to take over the major sector of economy of Malayan. The Japanese could succeed if they did not throw away their employed workers for the plantation and mines, but they did not succeed because of their lack of thinking. And the cost price are high at that time for the Malayan because they had almost non-domestic production. Malayan also have problem of the rice shortage because they are non-transportation. Malayan had problem to help soldier winter when the Japanese trying to invade Malayan, but they had successful sent a plane to spy on the Japanese army. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. My name is Najmi Akid bin Bakar. I'm from batch 18B. Okay, today I want to present about my subject is security intelligence. I want to explain the main of contents. Okay, now I want to continue my friend presentation. Okay, follow me. Number 5. British have the soldier winter when the Japanese invaded Malaya. Example, the British giving them enough equipment to fight the Japanese. The last one, the British send aeroplane to spy on the Japanese army. Example, such as sending a plane to observe the movement of Japan of soldier.
Hi, my name is Nur Siti Rahima binti Rahim. I will explain about some important battles during the Japanese occupation in Malaysia. At midnight on 8 December 1941, for the first time, Japanese army landing on the shores of Padang Pak Kota Baharu. Japanese army sparked a large and violent battles with British troops in 1 hour before attack began at Pearl Harbor. This is one of the first time officially Japanese army attacked the Pacific War and beginning of the Japanese occupation of Malaya. Kota Bharu Airport, which was occupied in the morning, reached the airport in Sungai Patani, Butterworth, Ulster, arrested on 9 December 1941. Japanese army divided into two spirit forces in Kota Bharu, then moved to East Coast and Kuantan to colonize the others headed south to head to Sungai Perang. Before the British withdrew from the north, they bombed the Penang Bridge, and for the reason they were also unable to carry heavy goods to cross. Fair resistance to the advance of the Japanese army in the Battle of Kampar lasted for 3 days and 3 nights before the British were forced to surrender and retreat again with the Japanese. One of the reasons for the defeat that occurred during the Battle of the Japanese took the easy way to Kuala Lumpur after the defeat, which will some parties left Kuala Lumpur after the incidents. This is one of the battle has been done by the Japanese of banknotes issued by the Japanese government worth millions of dollars to be used when in Malaya and Borneo. They also replaced Malaysia dollars version of their dollars when they are still take over of Malaya without realizing it. Some Japanese military units have machine mobile money printing, and there is no quantity or value of the notes they print. Japanese did not control the printing of banknotes in last month of the war, and the hyperinflation of Japanese money was worthless at the end of the war. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Khadijah Binti Azman. My ID numbers DEM 04190038, and I am from batch 18B. Today, I want to present about the British Intelligence Collection. The first is train members in the 101 as the Special Training School in Singapore. 20 December, British top begin a training party members in guerrilla warfare at the 101 as the Special Training School in Singapore. About 165 CPM members were training before the fall of Singapore to the Japanese. These fighters, who were a sick-like armed and used by the hard British, quickly dispersed and tried to use the colonial army. Second, sending intelligence agents into the CPM Malaya Communist Party. In February 1942, Lightek, the British agent who was said have an interest the Malayan Communist Party CPM, was attracted by the Japanese. He became a double agent who provided information to the Japanese about the CPM and MJAPA, acting on information. He provided information that Japan acted a secret conference of the more than 100 CPM and MJPA leaders on September 1, 1942 in Batu Cave, north of Kuala Lumpur, killing most of them. The last is British commando infected from a force 113 seat in Malaya and made contact with the guerrillas. From May onwards of the command of English of a force 103 seat infected into the Malaya and made contact with the guerrilla. In 1944, an agreement was reached in the which MPAJA would reclaim some instruction from the Light Assaulted Asia Commons CSEAC and the Alliance would provide MPAJA weapons supplies.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nura Ainaja binti Muhammad Safi'i from batch 18B DEM 0319056. Today I would like to present about some recommendation related to the Japanese occupation in Malaya. First, British is damaging all the rubber trees, factories, mines and mining machinery before left for Malaya. It is because British don't want to keep it falling into Japanese hands. If the British didn't destroy trees, Japanese will export and import to their country. Malaya has consumer goods, especially food. Malaya only produces 40% of the population of rice. After several measures have been carried out on the order of the Japanese to increase rice production in Malaya, the Malaya people rely on the other crops such as corn, banana, cassava and many other types of crops. Third is Malaya banknotes up to $40 million. $2 million for the Japanese occupational distribution of banknotes. By the deterioration of the Japanese economy, Malaya communication system and other infrastructure damage and are irreparable. Although Japan has implemented a range of industry such as shoes making factories, tires and other manufacturers, but it is not a success. Next, Japanese military gave a different treatment according to race, where the Malays and Indians were treated well by the Japanese and Chinese treated unfairly. The Malays have been appointed as the Japanese Kamputai assigned to catch the Chinese. They increased the hatred among the Chinese against the Malays, resulting thicker inter-ethnic hostility between the Malays and Chinese. Hence, the Chinese sought shelter in the woods to avoid Japanese military threat. The last one is, vast changes were made to the school system in Malaya, where Japanese education policy has been fully implemented. Pupils were required to sing Japan national anthem, Kamigayo, every morning and respect the Japanese flag. So, the people of Malaya will honor to the Emperor of Japan. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Kamleshwari from batch 18B DEM 0619004. Today, I want to talk about conclusion of Japanese occupation in Malaya. In the conclusion, British intelligence coalition sending the agent into the CPM British commando infiltrated from Force 136 in Malaya. Moreover, some important battles during the Japanese occupation in Malaysia, where the Imperial Japanese army landing on the shores of Padang Pak Ahmad, Kota Baru, exactly at midnight on 8 December 1941. Britain also involvement in the Japanese occupation in Malaya. International Emergency Food Council created in July 1946, controlled much of the international trade in the rice until 1949.